It's your boy Warren B. Author of Pimp God, what your mama should have told you. And this video is entitled, Men Must Lead with Their Light. Men must lead with their light. The black man in America has a particular obstacle that other races of men don't have. The black woman in America thinks that the black man is weak. Inherently weak. She blames you for slavery. She believes that it is your weakness and your fault that she was enslaved. This is why a man of knowledge should not argue with women. Why? Because most women, not all, but most women, they don't pick up a fucking book and do any research, especially in a book that didn't come from a college or university. You're not educated in school. You're trained and deceived with education. So the real education starts when you leave the classroom. If you want your sons to get a real education, take them out of the school classroom so that they can get back to being educated. That's how that shit works. The black woman thinks that the black man is weak, but she forgot, because she don't do no research, that the black man conquered her master. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. She don't even know what she's looking at when she looks at a black man. She don't know herself. The white man was conquered by the black man in Spain in 7-Eleven, and we ruled that ass for damn near 800 years, but she forgot that shit. Here's the difference between the white woman and the black woman. Even though Spain was conquered by the black man under the guise of or name the Moors, there were some Arabs as a part of the Moors, but most of the Moors were black. And I don't mean 60%. Most of the Moors were black. The gist of it is, the white woman did not look at her white man as weak. Show me a nation that hasn't been conquered at some point and in some way. There was a time where even China had to regroup and get itself together. Wean themselves off of even the opium that was coming from the United States. Get their mind right, get back on track. I never heard about the history of an Asian woman looking at her man as weak. Don't argue with black women. They don't pick up a fucking book. Here's the key. Every race of man gets conquered at some point. And let's take this a step further. Was the black man conquered? Gotta pick up a fucking book to be able to answer that shit. Was he conquered by the white man? Gotta read more than the books from your college with your punk ass master's degree to answer this question. So, in order to answer that question, right, I have to ask another question. Right? In order to truly answer that and understand that, I have to ask another question. Was Jesus conquered by the Romans? Let me give you a hint. 30 pieces of silver. Go back and look at the story. Did the Romans come in and just take that ass? His name was not Jesus, and he was not white. His name was Yeshua, and Yeshua is Hebrew, and the original Hebrews are black. Was the black man named Yeshua conquered by the Romans, the white man, the white around your lips? No, stupid. He was sold. The same way that the black man got into slavery, he was sold, stupid. That's not conquered. That's called an inside job. When banks get robbed, they don't always get robbed from the outside in. It's a person that has a criminal mind that works for the company or the bank that could do more damage than somebody from the outside in, because they understand how the security and everything works in this setup. Men must not lead with their wallet. Men must lead with their light. The sum total of what a man is based on the development of his light. Everything else, including his wallet, falls under that. But first and foremost, first things first, is a man's light. The nature of a woman is to seek guidance and instruction from her man. A woman governs the subtle realm, the subconscious, the unconscious realm. Men who are underdeveloped, they don't recognize and understand the subtleties of a woman. When a woman wants to be recognized by a man, even though the closest distance between wherever she is and wherever she's going might be a straight line, she'll make a beeline. She'll take longer to get to where she's going because she wants to get in his limelight. She wants him to see her, recognize her. Look at that ass. Goddamn. The man who is developed from the inside out, right, does not bite that carrot. He has to have self-control. He's got to lead her from the inside out. That's why when a woman is in her prime, the dude that gets the pussy for free is the dude that deals with her with a sense of indifference. Small group of dudes in the hood that's getting most of the pussy. And these are the guys that are too busy, too preoccupied, unfocused enough to really give any woman what they really need. Most women lose their virginity to such men. Underdeveloped men. Now we got a problem, Houston. Because we got a bunch of women who have an imprint of underdeveloped men. So later in life, when they want to settle down and do the right thing, I'm looking for a man to build with. Yeah, but your pussy not. That's the problem. When your womb has been imprinted by a younger vibratory energy and a man that's a builder comes along, there's going to be a battle inside of her. And that battle is going to be based upon the fact that her womb is calling for a vibration that the mature, serious, boring builder he might have had it when he was younger. A woman does not look at her man. She looks into him. Like I said before, women govern the subtle realms of things. She looks into him. So regardless of how boisterous and confident he acts on the outside, you got all these videos telling men to be alpha males, or at least take on the attributes of an alpha male. Yeah. But if that's not coming from the inside out, women are going to know that. Therefore, a man's direction must come from the inside out. When you walk into a room, a dark room, and there is no light in it, and you can't see, how do you light your way? You turn on the light. Even a small light in a pitch black room, like a candle, could light the room enough for you to see your way. The brighter the light, the bigger the fire, the brighter the light. The more you can light your way. Man's purpose is to focus on that light and the development of that light. At the highest level, that light in you is called soul. There are 4 aspects of man related to the 4 elements: water, fire, wind, and earth. The earth is the body, and God formed man out of the dust of the earth. And he breathed the breath, the wind of life into him. The part the Bible doesn't say in that verse in Genesis is that the water of man is the mind. Even the brain itself sits in a liquid. So esoterically, the water is the mind because it's always flowing. Even when you sleep, you dream. Your mind is always working. What happens when the water stops flowing? The person is called brain dead. Flowing water is fresh. Stagnant water stinks. Therefore, a man must constantly be changing and evolving because his water must constantly be flowing. He must constantly be learning new things. The more that you learn, the more that you change. Because every time you learn something new, you change neurologically. Therefore, any woman that you deal with must constantly get reacquainted with you. Because you're constantly learning something new. You're not the same person that you were yesterday, let alone 10, 20 years ago. A man's direction must come from the inside out. Therefore, it's not a wallet thing. It's an anima thing. The fourth element in man, or fire, is the soul. So the last part of that verse in Genesis said, and man became a living soul. The four elements are broken down of man esoterically right there in the Bible. And God formed man out of the dust of the earth, body. And he breathed the breath of life into him, wind. The breath of life in man activates what? The water, the mind. And the last part of that verse says, and man became a living soul. When a baby comes out of the mother and takes its first breath, what enters that body is the spirit. And God breathed the breath of life into man, and man became a living soul. So the soul is housed by the spirit. And the breath of life exists within man, which is housed by the body. A man who is developed is leading from the inside out. Your purpose in life is not to keep your woman happy. It is to follow the direction of your inner light. It is not to do what she says or keep a smile on her face. It is to follow the direction of your inner light. And that's what my book, even the audiobook, The Science of Greatness, is all about. Greatness involves taking direction from one's inner light. The nature of a woman is to seek to establish flexibility in any situation. The nature of a man is naturally to establish boundary. This is order. Even when a woman knows that what she wants, it's what I want, but it's what I want, is not right or proper or correct, her nature, right, is to challenge her man, to see how committed he is to his inner light. The nature of a woman is a challenge to a man. Her nature is to challenge you, to see how committed you are to the direction of your inner light. One of my exes, who was married for 4 years, had a brother who was good at saving money. Sometimes her and her husband would get behind in their bills. She did not respect her husband. Here's why. He thought that loving his wife meant giving her what she wants and keeping a smile on her face. That's because he didn't understand female nature. So they would borrow the money to pay bills, and then when they got the money, then my ex, who was fine as fuck, I'd give her like a 9, 10. She would at home, and sexually, Jesus, she was a 12.5. She was a sister, but she had what some would call white girl inhibition. Anyway, I'm back. The gist of it is, she asked her husband when they would borrow the money if she could use the money to pay for something that would make her happy. A pair of shoes, a dress, an outfit, something else. Let's use this money to buy something that will make her happy, baby. Bae. And she presented her story to him. And her husband, looking at this woman that pleases him in every way sexually and is a pleasing thing to look at every time you look at her, he said, okay, baby, we'll go ahead and get that. She said, Warren, every time he let me get my way, I lost more and more respect for him. She was doing this shit on purpose. A woman is a challenge to a man to see how committed he is to his inner light, to his inner anima. A man is 80% logic. It's not logical trying to keep a smile on a woman's face. Tell me something. What direction is the wind going to blow in next? We'll never know until it happens. And that's how a woman's emotions go. We'll never know until it happens. And even the Bible says, no man knows the ways, the direction of a woman. She don't even know. And that's the key to understanding. A man has to be different from her. His logic has to be such that regardless of what the direction of her life that she wants to go in, he sticks steadfast to logic and, most importantly, his inner anima. A woman must submit to a man, not to his possessions, not to his wallet, not to his accomplishments. Most wives and girlfriends cheat on their men. I know because I was also the guy in a nigga's bed while he was at work getting that money, being true to his wallet. And I'm in that soul hole. You know the one. Ass to mouth, anyone? I'm in that soul hole while he's at work getting money for his family. The kids are fast asleep and I'm dicking his bitch down. Soul hole style. Back to the pussy, then to the mouth. Up in the morning before the kids get up to get ready for school. All the wifely duties were done. Roasts in the oven. So when he comes off, there's a food. She made the food. The house is clean. And so are her pipes. True story. The only thing that can keep a woman in pocket is the character of man that you're being. Even when you can afford to do certain things for a woman or a loved one, sometimes your character of being will make you say no. No is a very important word for a developed man. Just because you have money and the family comes a-knocking, you send them away with their tail between their legs. You have to develop the ability to say no even to your woman. And mean it. That's key to the game. Remember, a woman looks into a man. So trying to make yourself all attractive on the outside, when she's looking at you from the inside out, you're going to have problems. Attraction is much deeper than physical. It is subliminal. And it can even become unconscious over time. In every woman's subconscious and unconscious mind is an ideal image or symbol of authority. This is Master Pimp talk right here. What a man must work to develop is the mental transference of energy to a woman that matches the image of authority that she has in her unconscious mind, which is her body, and in her subconscious mind. That is the secret element to attraction. And that's an audiobook in and of itself. A man must lead with his light. Thank you for listening. It's your boy Warren B. Peace.